It's definitely in the wilderness of the ocean. I'm still registering the amount of beauty that I saw.
You have always to enter with the most humble position.
It shows us how small we are and we are only visitors.
These sharks have been doing this for millions of years, and we're here putting wetsuits on and spearfishing and entering their element.
There is no ego in the water when we fish the Tuamotus.
You're dealing with apex predators. You have to become an apex predator. Some of the sharkiest waters I've ever been in. Absolutely incredible amounts of life, sharks everywhere. A completely different environment.
Hey guys, Yaurana. We're here in the Tuamotus. I'm in company with my friend Maui, great Spearo of Tahiti. We're gonna spend a couple of days, 3 days here in this beautiful atoll. And we're going spearfishing with our friends from California, Kenyon and Brandon. And we also have a good friend of mine from Oregon, Harrison, and also my son, Kai, this time joined me in this adventure. Maui is a very, very good spear fisherman, participated to numerous world championships. It's a big, big pleasure to dive with him. This guy knows the spearfishing techniques of French Polynesia like his own pockets. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real good to be with such a good waterman in these waters.
We arrived, we got settled, but not for long. We pretty much went straight into it, getting into our dive site. Short boat ride over to the open mouth of the channel. First couple drops, I'm still registering the amount of beauty that I saw. Absolutely incredible amounts of life, sharks everywhere. It honestly has been one of, if not my favorite places I've ever been free diving in my life.
First few dives Brandon and I did was just kind of getting lay of the land, not really pushing too hard, and it was absolutely unreal. As we figured it out, got comfortable with all the sharks hanging around, we started pulling trigger and a nice little long-nosed emperor came close enough for me to pick. And they're coming in close to my left, so I kind of followed the one I wanted to shoot, shot him in the side of the cheek, was hoping to stone him because there was a lot of sharks around. I did not, so it kind of did some spins. As soon as I was going to grab the fish, one silver tip came in, then two behind, and luckily all the friends came to help. It was definitely different than all the fish I'm used to, and I can tell I'm going to spend the next few days trying to figure out how to get bigger and better ones. Cannot compare Atoll of Tuamotus with Tahiti.
What I like of Tahiti is that it's a very, very good playground to learn all the skills and to become a very, very good Spearo. And then once you come here, it's like going in vacation, you know? But it's also very good to fish in the atolls because you see so much fish, you can really study from close their behavior. There's a lot of fish, there's a lot of sharks, and I'm pretty sure the next day are gonna be even better. This morning, as always in French Polynesia, the alarm sounds very, very early. 5:30 we were in the water, waiting for the first light to reach the bottoms. This is the moment where most predators are active. When you enter these type of waters, you have always to enter with the most humble position. We are all visitors. Even the best freediver of the world will be a visitor in the ocean. We got to pay a lot of respect.
At the moment we went in the water, sharks were here, fish were here too. They just woken up like us. Francis, take the first dive. It was a good warm-up.
So I tried to be conservative, but at some point I had a very, very good chance on a big long-nosed emperor. It was just under a big shark, but confident of the teamwork, I took the shot. It was a very well-placed shot, and the shark were a bit interested into the action, but my buddies were there to keep distance between my fish and the shark, and everything went smooth. And then I got a couple of parrotfish, very, very tasty. We're gonna eat them raw tonight. then I landed another parrotfish. This time I saw it was a classic movement, up and down, up and down. One of my techniques, instead of chasing the fish with my gun, I will just stop, calm myself down, and point in the blue water, and I'm waiting for him to pass straight in front of my shaft, and that's where I released the trigger. It was a very good action because I actually could see the fish coming right in front, and I just pulled the trigger at the right moment, and it was easy. The atolls of the Tuamotu have a very strange behavior. We have ingoing tides, outgoing tides, all in the same day. And then we have an incredible switch of weather. At some point we got caught in like a 35 knots of winds and big squall. We're waiting for it to pass. It's insane how from morning to yesterday night, the condition changed. Some fish that was there, it wasn't present at all this morning. So we kind of were like, where is it gone? Now we're gonna have a full 24 hours check of the playground, and then it's gonna help us really to build the strategy for the next 2 days. And that's where we're gonna start to step up the game and try to land some very good sized fish and the one that we like to catch.
Always good luck to see dolphins early in the morning, and we saw some dolphins. They were playing on the bow and skipping around, and definitely a great start to the day and a good omen for what was to come.
But it was a completely different environment.
As soon as I jumped in today, I knew it was going to be a phenomenal day. The sharks were a little fired up. We noticed that sharks around us were coming in a little more aggressively. Had to poke a couple away even without shooting fish, so that was definitely on our radar. Drifted over a little bit, and that's where we really started connecting and shooting some fish and having a great day.
So in the first dive, I ended to maybe 16 meters, and there were skulls of every fish you can imagine: snapper, emperor, parrotfish, soldierfish. We tried to wait a little bit longer, but sharks don't help in the waiting for good fish. You can see that the big fish are afraid when the big sharks are coming.
My first Tahitian fish was a barracuda. Mid-water column, couple came in and was able to shoot and connect on one.
The barracuda is different behavior from the parrotfish. He stays more up in the water. He's not on the bottoms. He's always in small schools. We found a group of maybe 10 barracudas, and they're not very deep, so you can go directly on them. They come close to the fishermen. They are not scared. You can tell they are predators.
After that, spent a lot of time more so on the bottom, reef hunting, really getting comfortable with the Tahitian style of longer stays and deeper drops and just trying to bring the fish into you. And then after I saw Maui shoot a grouper, next dive I saw one, really like stalked him as he was in, because he was in a cave and I didn't want to shoot into the rocks with a powerful gun. So I kind of like followed him and traversed, tried to lift him up in the water column. As soon as I did, I was able to ping him and yeah, enjoy some Tahitian grouper, which is absolutely delicious. So one of the things I preach this all the time in freediver courses and training, what I'm so happy on this trip with joint spearfishing is really great mentality for teamwork and especially a high focus on safety, which is absolutely imperative in a place like this. As a spearfisherman, we can take the shot, we can line everything up, we can do everything right, but we rely on our buddies if something goes wrong, or even if everything goes right, to push and defend the sharks and keep them away from our catch for both safety and to obviously bring home our fish. I had an instance today where I shot a parrotfish, a little bit of a struggle. Of course, they try to rock up and dive into the reef. I had pulled it off, I'm trying to pull up, and then I realized my shaft gets wedged in between. As I go to dive down, I'm very lucky to have two good buddies dive in, push the sharks away, bring that shaft up, help me get that fish, and as always, a great team effort to land and enjoy that fish for lunch. So really grateful for them, and that is the only way to spearfish.
We were watching Maui take a drop and turned around and happened to have a doggy swimming right below me. He decided to take a drop. It allowed me to get close enough to take a shot, so I let the shaft fly, and certainly have no business shooting a dogtooth on a reel quite yet, but I did, and it definitely humbled me. It was an experience I'll never forget. It was about roughly, I guess, 30 to 40 kilograms, and the sheer power of that fish is truly unmatched.
My thought was, okay, I'm gonna go and get a second shot, send out sharks.
That fish sounded down to 200 feet probably in 3 seconds. Like, there was absolutely no chance of that happening. I did not land the dogtooth, but
I think that's one of the big things there in Tahiti is how strong the fish are and how far out they say. He had a couple rip out. I had a really nice utu yesterday that I shot, felt really stoked on, tore out. So as Franchi always says, shot placement, headshots only, and I see why now because of how easy it is for these to fight and get away. These sharks have been doing this for millions of years, and we're here putting wetsuits on and spearfishing and entering their element. When I first learned to spearfish, I was told, you're dealing with apex predators, you have to become an apex predator, and there's no better place to practice that than here in the Tuamotus. They're very active, very sharp, on top of any sound or movement, but we've had great guides and great experience of working with them. And you know, I've dove with sharks different parts of the world, but this is definitely some of the sharkiest waters I've ever been in. I'd say the sharks have a couple points, but we're winning overall, and that's what's important.
so we're gonna take a break for the rest of the day and tomorrow morning and let the other group go after it. And now it's just a matter of getting in the water.
We tried today a little bit deeper, more fish, more bigger fish, but also more shark.
I think the sharks are racist. So basically I got down, I placed a beautiful shot on a beautiful utu. It wasn't stoned, so the shark came, made a mess out of it. Literally 2 minutes later, Maui goes down, plays the same shot, and the shark didn't even show up. And so he came up all kind and all cool with his... It must be my citizenship they didn't like.
But just after, it was the opposite way. I shot the ume and I couldn't get to the drop because the shark took my shaft. 2 minutes after, same dive, same spot for Rossi, same fish, not even one shark.
I brought it. Definitely today they were calmer and less. So a lot of other species showed up and they were definitely more calm. Utus were finally easy to approach in a way, so definitely better fishing. Tomorrow's gonna be even better. Finally the bait fish, the orare Maui was talking about, are out of the pass, and I'm pretty sure that tomorrow morning at dawn they will pack up and we're gonna go for some big predators. So that's all for good. I mean, so far so freaking good.
Topi, 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 Rosalie, elle est partie. Si tu la vois, prends-la pour toi. Rosalie, Rosalie, elle est partie. Si tu la vois, prends-la pour toi.
Yesterday night we saw a big bait ball of fish outside the reef. I thought that this morning they would have packed up. And so we went out very, very early. We were 5 a.m. in the water because usually we have huge rainbow runners, doggies and GTs that roll around this bait ball. But once we arrived, there was nothing. This is because the current was incoming into the atoll. They probably are inside the lagoon.
There's some pretty big fish at the surface. I kind of recognized it. When I took the shot, I thought I stoned it, then it took off. I started to get wrapped up in the line pretty bad. I was grabbing the line, like pulling in to myself, trying to get the fish to the surface, and somehow like the line was going around me because of the way the current was going, and the gun floated around me somehow. And then Maui came in and kind of saved my ass on this one. I was able to unwrap myself. It was all around my snorkel and everything. If that was in deeper water, that would have been really bad.
Every day looks different. It's hard to predict if we will find this or this fish. We went outside for the bait fish that we saw just last night. Many bait fish and big predators, but unfortunately they weren't present. We just catch some small fish to complete the barbecue.
We were at the beginning, couple of meters of water. I saw it from far. He was already coming towards me. I hope he caught it on video because I literally shot him from this distance. I waited always to have the best positioning and try to shoot it straight in the vital place. There was a lot of sharks even there in the shallows, but yeah, easy peasy.
Today we saw two beautiful tiger sharks. It's very humbling. It shows us how small we are and we are only visitors of this environment.
It's definitely in the wilderness of the ocean. When you come out here, it's still very wild. It's very healthy population, obviously because of all the sharks.
Coming to the Tuamotus Island is no surprise. It's shark land. Compared to other places in the world, they dominate the area. The strategy of the fishing, even if there is a lot of fish around, focus on taking the right shot at the right moment to avoid the sharks, always knowing that they are here before us. And so every mistake is paid by losing the fish, losing the shaft, losing gear. There is no ego in the water when we fish in the Tuamotus. There is no, I'm gonna catch my fish and I'm gonna bring it up on my own. There is always teamwork, because in the end what we want is to bring fish to the table and bring our legs home. That's the most important, I think. This place, no matter how many times I came here, never stopped to surprise me. The condition was completely different from the other days, almost no fish. And well, so we redirect a little bit the strategy, got some parrots to have food, because in the end that's why we fish for.
Tonight's dive was the most sharky dive I've ever had in my life. But hey, we're all back with all limbs, all guns, all shafts, and some fish.
Jumped in the water, kind of did a few drops, get a grip of what we were dealing with. Saw a dog tooth right at the beginning, kept making our moves. Kind of noticed sharks were getting a little more aggressive as time went on. Had a couple charge at us, kept making our moves until we found a nice reef that was holding a lot of big uku, big emperors. We were all taking turns doing deep drops and shooting a lot of uku, but only one made it to the boat.
I went into today focusing on relaxation. Deep dive, long stay. That was my main focus. I had multiple 2-minute drops. Everything was 15 to 20 meters, really relaxed, focused, letting the fish come in. Had a beautiful utu come in, solid shot just behind the head, holding in the gill plate. Big reef sharks coming in, pulled him up, safeties came in. Everything was perfect until we got to the surface and my flopper didn't deploy and he popped off at the surface. It's a good lesson to come back for next time and to always remember to secure your fish every single step, especially the last step.
Finally had one come in, curious enough, pulled trigger, thought it was a really good holding shot. I must have shot him a little low. Poof, gone, bad luck. A reoccurring thing going on in the reef during this time.
The man behind the camera got some shots today as well with the spear gun. After shooting an utu threaded shaft completely through the fish, I go down on defense. I'm trying to poke away some reef sharks. All of a sudden, I don't know how the shaft had gone through, he got free. So we think it actually went through the body cavity and the line cut through and he swam off. And so now that's 3 strikes. That's 3 different fish that escaped. And then now we're dealing with a bunch of fired up reef sharks, which was not ideal, plus an utu curse.
I guess this is probably not a wise decision after seeing what was going on the whole time, but I decided to make another drop. I went down, another long, deep dive. Finally had a few come in, gave me an opportunity to pick. I picked one, had a nice holding shot. Didn't KO it, as Maui would say. And so I was fighting, getting it, kicking. Sharks come out of nowhere. As I'm almost at the surface, double calf cramp. I'm cramping up. Maui's holding me at the surface. I'm trying to stretch out while look for the sharks that are up and down, up and down. Brandon and the cameraman are going down, dive bombing on the sharks, scaring them away. I finally get in the boat, get the fish back in the boat. Instantly start getting hit by sharks again. They're going after the gun. It was a mess. It was a total mess, but it was definitely cool to experience.
We talk about safety in all of the classes and courses that we teach. This is one of the best examples I've ever seen of really good safety and teamwork, because you have to be dialed. There's hordes of sharks here that are just waiting for one mistake, waiting for you to slip up, waiting for you to not have a good shot. That comes down to good training, good communication, and executing as a team almost instinctively without even having to talk about it. We knew our roles and what we had to do. And I feel like we did a really amazing job of working together to not only be successful to bring back our fish, but to come home safe. So grateful for Franchi from Joints, Maui, our guide. It's always a blend between amazing experience, but also like itching to be back, itching to learn from the experiences we had. So overall, this has been one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, some of the best spearfishing I've ever done, an incredible adventure with good people, and I'm ready for the next one.
It's one of those places, the more you come, there's just more new things to see. It's never ending. Words can't express how thankful I am for Maui, for Franchi, for Benoit and Nunu. Still can't believe where I am, and I am so stoked to come back.